Welcome to the Spent the Rent podcast. I am your host, Patty Rose. My guests today are a father and son duo, the hosts of the Nonsense Hour with Cohen and Adam Graves. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us back, Patty. What's going on, man?
This is cool. You know, we had you back in the studio promoting your podcast, the Nonsense Hour, and I thought it would be cool to talk to you guys. The three of us at different times have been playing a lot of online games, which is cool, enjoying the PS4 life. And so Cohen is definitely a lot better at the video games than Adam.
That's for sure.
Cohen, your birthday is on Monday. You're going to be 11 years old. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I always enjoy talking to you guys. And so I thought I'd have you back on. We would kind of see what you're up to, see how the podcast is going, and talk about, how you guys are getting through this quarantine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Cohen, I wanted to ask you, so now school for the rest of this school year is completely online. How have you adjusted to that? Are you enjoying it?
It's not fun. I'm gonna be honest. Right here, right now, it sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. It's not cool.
It's because I got to be the teacher too.
Yeah.
So
pretty much, it's the jazz right here.
So, what is it? I mean, do you miss your friends? Obviously.
Yes, of course. But I have most of their phone numbers and stuff like that. But some of them I don't. So it's kind of a little sad, but not really because I have most of their phone numbers.
Right.
So I can talk to them virtually.
Yeah. Have you played sports on a team in the past? Because
I was 4, 6 maybe. I played soccer.
It's been a while.
Way back in the day. Because I do feel for a lot of kids coming up on baseball season, and I would imagine that it's going to be difficult. We'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
Because for kids that are into that kind of thing, that was what I was all about when I was your age. I was all about playing sports and being active, and now I just play Madden. but
what we got, man. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they do slowly roll out live sport events or live music events. I've definitely been jonesing on the music side of it. I definitely miss going to venues to watch local bands or even traveling bands coming through on tour. And I think, it's slowly, even today, he was starting to say, he was having some of the pandemic blues, you know what I mean, as far as, getting out and interacting.
Right. We've tossed some ideas around. It sounds like things are starting to open up in Lane County. I got some information today from Lane County released a statement saying that things can start rolling back out May 15th. So that's coming up. And what is it now? The 7th. So that's, 8 days away. And I'm not exactly sure for us at the barbershop what that means. Obviously, we're all sporting our baseball caps right now because we're not showing our quarantine hair. It's funny. Right. I was, before we hit record, I just noticed we got the A's, we got the B's, we got the C's.
Yeah, man. We're all in this together, man.
Right. So you guys have continued doing the podcast. Tell us a little bit, if people haven't heard the past episode, about the Nonsense Hour, what it is that you guys do.
Like it always has been, like you've asked last episode, it's really just about stuff. It's not really about stuff we talk about. It's just stuff that's going on, nonsense that's happening in our lives right now, IRL.
IRL.
IRL for in real life, for people that didn't know that. But,
for you boomers, that means in real life.
Yeah, I mean, we make it fun. We definitely don't have too much of an agenda. I like to keep things a little tech heavy, talk about tech. He likes to talk about games. Then we just, we do little mental health check-ins, little digital wellness check-ins. And, we try to keep it fun. And when my daughter and his sister's here, the producer, she plays a part. And she's here right now because she's quarantining with us, but she's still sleeping. She's still sleeping. And it's the folks that are listening to this, it's 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It's funny because I listened to your guys' most recent episode, or one of the most recent episodes, and you were giving her a hard time about her sleeping in. Now Mia is a college student. She's the producer of the Nonsense Hour, and she's a college student. So she's also studying from home. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. She just had her midterms last week. Sounds like they're going to do next term, which is summer term, also online. I think the big question now is what what it's going to look like come fall. She's in a sorority. I know her sorority and other sororities and fraternities are talking about how they're going to do that,
Right.
like how that's going to look like. Is she going to be living in the house? Is she not? Whatnot?
So your last term, you walked in the spring.
Correct. Yeah.
And so you finished grad school and already did all the celebration, but you were one of those stragglers. You had like that 1 or 2 classes that you had to wrap up.
I just finished American military history, which is part of the ROC program. I like history, so I took a lot of history classes, and I could literally take any class that I wanted to as long as it was an upper division class. So I took American military history. It was a great course. And yeah, now I could go grab my diploma, but it's official. I'm now a UO.
You're going to have to prove it to me because I do not believe you.
I figured, yeah.
So anyway, changing gears. One of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So Cohen, you had a heart surgery, and you can tell us a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about something really exciting that's happening for you. So tell us about what you've had to go through with the heart issues and whatnot.
Well, what's happened was when I was born, about 3 months later, I had a heart surgery, then another surgery, and then now recently, last year during Christmas, I had
his second surgery.
My second heart surgery, and it was hard. I don't remember getting any sleep. Like I maybe got 20 minutes of sleep in all, maybe.
I think Mia's trying to catch up on your sleep for you.
I think she is.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Anyways, tell us a little more.
It was hard, but it was worth it because I eventually got to go back home, and ever since then, it's been great.
And so now there's something really exciting coming up. You were chosen for the Make-A-Wish program.
Yes.
And your wish was to kick John Cena in the balls.
Correct.
So no. What was your wish?
It was to get a tiny house built in my backyard.
So a tiny house. Tell us a little bit about what they're doing. Adam, you had told me a little bit about it. It sounds really awesome.
Yeah, it's basically this local company called Urban Lumbers.
Shout out to Urban Lumber, Sap at Urban Lumber.
And he's building us this tiny house, and I'm really excited.
So in the tiny house, you're going to have Wi-Fi, electricity, all that good stuff?
Well, we're going to try with Wi-Fi. We haven't thought about that yet. I haven't brought that up to them, but we know there is going to be electricity.
So it's going to be outside of so it's at your mom's house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be.
He currently shares a room with 2 of his stepbrothers. So it's going to be his own little room at his mom's house, his own little private getaway, gaming sanctuary / I need to get away from the other kids, kind of getaway house.
Called the Little Man Cave.
The Little Man Cave,
Little Man Cave.
Which is funny because his grandpa, my father, has the man cave at his house. It's got all the accoutrements, the shuffleboard table, the pool table.
It literally looks like it came out of a casino.
It's a great place to have a gathering. Now he's going to have his own little man cave.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I was pretty spoiled as a kid, and my dad converted the garage, which was an old house. So the garage was out back of the house. It was like a sliding door, and he converted it, and we always called it the guest house, which showed me that he wanted me to move out.
Right.
But it was pretty cool. I had a quarter bathroom, so we had a urinal in there.
Right. There's a urinal at my dad's man cave.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, so that's pretty exciting. When you got accepted or invited to do the Make-A-Wish program, what was that like, Cohen? I mean, was that kind of like, whoa, this is cool?
I didn't know what to think, to be honest. I was just in shock. When my mom first told me, I was just confused. I was like, because I didn't really know what Make-A-Wish was, because
didn't know what the program
basically did. The first thing I saw of it was what are those 2 guys that build houses, and it's a TV show, they're like twins. The first time I saw that is they teamed up with the Make-A-Wish and built this wheelchair course for in their backyard new house, because they had wheelchairs and they were disabled. And I think that was one of their Make-A-Wish
I can't remember the name of that show.
Like the Make-A-Wish
Parker Brothers or something.
Yeah.
What was it?
Like Parker Brothers or something?
Yeah, it's like the 2 brother twins that have a show.
I remember they teamed up with Make-A-Wish in one
HGTV.
episode, and that was pretty much the only thing I knew about like Make-A-Wish is that it was this program for kids, and I never even thought that was possible for me. Like I thought those were for kids that were like next level extreme stuff, like cancer or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing,
man.
you know, and that's the thing that I wanted to touch on. It's like with you having this experience, you may downplay it and think of it as not being very significant because that's your reality. And when you're a kid, you're so resilient. And, you know, it's like with this whole quarantine, I'm really impressed with young kids and how they're handling this because there's so much that has changed and so much that you don't understand or can understand. I can't understand, and I'm a grown ass man, but there's so much that kids are having to deal with. Now, this generation, kids your age, Cohen, it's a little bit different because you guys are so used to being indoors and being on your little gadgets and whatnot. So it's a little bit, it's true. And it's a little bit different. So it's a blessing and a curse because when we were kids, we literally, all we did was ride our bikes.
Right.
And, you know, so to be indoors, that's why I'm using this, why I look like I'm sunburned. This is all photoshopped. You know, I just wanted to, no, that's the bad lighting because I'm not good at that stuff. But yeah, I think sometimes you'll downplay that because it's your experience and it just seems so normal to you. But man, that's a pretty significant thing. But I understand what you mean. You think that it's going to be about kids that are, what was your words? Next level, the next level.
Like, yeah.
You know, something that is maybe
tad more serious than, but
the kids with like the Benjamin Button thing where they age backwards or whatever.
Right.
You know, that stuff is pretty.
Yeah. So his birthday's on Monday. Seth from Urban Lumber is going to come and kind of prep the area that they're going to put it. It's on a trailer, so it's built like a proper tiny house.
Like I could move it.
Yeah, it's going to be, you know, it'll grow with him. Wherever he decides to go, he'll be able to take his own little tiny house with him. And so, just a Seth at Urban Lumber. If you're not aware of him, he's doing some really great work and community work in Springfield. He just built the Springfield, Welcome to Springfield sign. I believe it's up. And so if you live in Springfield, see that sign that was made by Seth and his employees at Urban Lumber.
Also, Uncle David met him.
Uncle Red, yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Red met him because
he helped him out with getting his lumber milling machine set up. But yeah, just a really good company, really great. We couldn't have picked a better guy to get commissioned to build this project for him, and we're super grateful for it.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So that's quite an honor to be chosen for that, and I can't wait to see you guys launch some videos with your podcast and talking about how that stuff looks, and I'm sure it'll be pretty cool, and it's all brand new, you know, so that's pretty exciting.
Sure.
So yeah. So Cohen, have you been watching any shows? I know that a lot of different programming, like we watch The Voice. Have you watched any shows that have been changed the way that they do the production to where they're recording at home? Can you think of any? I mean,
yes,
I'm sure.
Actually, I finished one yesterday.
Which one?
Basically, I think I talked about this in my podcast. It's called Clone Wars. I got really excited about it. Basically, the last episode, I watched it today, like last episode forever. And at the last part, if you're a Star Wars fan, it cuts basically Anakin, which is now Darth Vader. Well,
now, is this a spoiler?
Yes. So spoiler alert. Basically, Rex and Ahsoka, which is like you only know those characters through comic books, not in the main movies, pretty much. They were bearing some helmets because Order 66 happened, and all the clones tried to kill him. Even though Rex was a clone, he disobeyed it. But basically, all of them died that was on the ship with them. Even though they tried to kill him, they still gave them graves. And then it cuts like 20 years. They don't really like tell you that, but kind of just expect that. And that planet's actually Hoth, but that scene before it is when it didn't have snow. So it's on Hoth, and it's Darth Vader, and she finds Ahsoka's lightsaber that she dropped right there and picks it up, and then it just cuts, and it's the end of the episode. And I was damaged after that. I was like,
world was shook. Only your hardcore Star Wars fans are gonna get and follow all that.
That's hilarious, and they're ruined now because of the spoiler. But no, what I meant by the question was more of like live action type stuff that is being made currently because of social distancing rules where you can't have you can't have groups of people, you know. So you normally, you know, maybe if you watch somebody that they go around and they've got a microphone and they talk to people on the street.
Magic for Humans. They're gonna make a new season soon, but it's gonna be hard to see them make a new season
Yeah.
I mean, it's not currently what we're watching, but they said the new season is coming out on May something.
Yeah.
I follow him on TikTok, so I know that.
I'd say definitely one that he kind of watches with his sister that is David Dobrik. I don't know if you ever watched Dobrik on YouTube, but he took a break from his daily vlogs for a while, and he put one out where he went around LA donating PlayStations and Xboxes and $10,000 checks to needy people, which was it was nice to see someone that was kind of in that celebrity status taking some time to, I guess, maybe break the rules a little bit, but he was at least handing out some well-needed gifts to people in LA.
I think you could do it to an extent. I mean,
Right.
it's like ordering food from a drive-through. You know, you
Right,
just
I
have
mean,
to be really careful.
It looked like he was taking precautions as far as a mask, gloves, all the stuff to kind of keep things safe. So
I do know.
Another one for
Go
me, I think, would be like Bill Maher's stuff that he's doing. John Oliver.
Yeah, I've been watching those every
Colbert.
week, and it's really interesting because they do just kind of like this, remote guests, and obviously
Yeah.
hire technology and better producers, because they
Right.
still have producers behind the scenes.
But I like it because it gives it that more kind of that intimate feel, because you feel like you're kind of in their house, kind of like this, where we think we've been in your studio, so I kind of know all the things behind you, and this is where we normally record. So
Casa
people
del
that
Graves
watch
kitchen.
the Casa del Graves studio, they're used to seeing all the
Right.
pictures on the wall and kind of this where we do it. But yeah, it's interesting to see these other kind of late night shows or talk shows do their shows from home.
I think the best thing about doing this is that we don't have to smell the awful scent of your Indian food that you're always cooking.
I know. See? And
So, the aromas that come out of the kitchen of the Casa de Graves is...
Dude, I'm telling you, if you just sat down, let me put a couple tacos in your mouth. I think we'll convert you.
You're not putting anything in my mouth, Adam.
Well, I'm just saying, man, just be open to it. Just be open to a little friendly taco feeding. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody wants a taco feeding from you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll work on this together. We're building on this relationship.
Yeah, baby steps. So, no, but I agree. I mean, watching the shows, it's really been interesting. And then I want to give a plug to the show, The Ish, which is a Facebook Live virtual broadcast that my buddy Joey Helpish started. And every night he has a different person take over admin.
Oh, that's awesome.
Responsibilities. And they, what they do is they, play music. And then there's another podcast. It's actually a call-in show called At Your Swervis with Undermined. And then I'm actually broadcasting my episodes on The Ish weekly, Sundays at 3 p.m. So if you're on Facebook, go to The Ish, their page, and follow them, because the music is really cool. And what's really cool about it is you see the positivity in the community. People just banging on that heart emoji in the live feeds.
Sure.
And so I've been trying to work out some kinks about doing some live feeds and stuff. My podcasts setup, I kind of prefer it to be canned and then just drop the video and you can watch it at your discretion. The biggest problem I have with a live feed of a podcast is if you come in 10 minutes late, then you miss a lot of the relevant stuff that they were talking about in the beginning.
Right.
What's on your mind there, Cohen? You're like, I don't even want him to look at me.
I feel like this light is like blinding,
Yeah,
and it makes me look like pale.
I might have that.
It makes me looks like a vampire. Like the light's just in my.
Like I was still scrambling on this call to kind of, because this was my first Zoom call, so I was trying to overdo it, and then you started texting me, and I was like, all right, I'm going to simplify this with what I can do to make it look as good as possible.
Yeah, we just kind of threw this one together. This is just kind of fun. This is, the beauty of doing a podcast independently is you can do whatever you want, so each episode's a lot different. The last few that I've done, I've had a lot of political guests, and I just thought it'd be cool to chit chat with you guys. And I really encourage anybody listening, go check out the Nonsense Hour. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. It's a Podbean hosted podcast, but it's everywhere. It's on Apple
Stitcher,
Podcasts, Spotify,
Apple.
You can find it everywhere. And I think it's really neat hearing what you guys talk about. And Cohen, you always crack me up because you've got such a deadpan delivery. And I know you're not trying to be funny, and that's what makes it funny, is that you're just kind of being genuine. And that's really cool. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing in the future, but I'm really stoked to see different people having their podcasts grow. I know Rick Goldner, he came on the show. He's an author on my podcast. He just launched a podcast, and I hope I get this right, but I think it's the Woodwork Underground is what it's called, with Rick Goldner. but you can search Rick Goldner on any platform and find that. And he was inspired by my podcast as well to do, not you and I started right at about the same time, but he started his own, and it's cool because he's got a great voice for it. So if you're on any podcast site and you're a podcast fan, you can check that out. The Woodwork.
What is he doing it about?
He's an author. He's an author. So yeah, he reads little excerpts and then just talks about, the current situation with anything going on. So I think just like your show, it's going to kind of just a natural progression and a natural flow of what's going on with the world around us. And then, collection of his work. He's a really cool author. He writes short stories. And so when I heard that, because I'm not much of a reader, but when I heard that and he was going to be on my show, he had messaged me. He's like, hey, I'd be interested in coming and chatting with you. And I opened a book and I realized real quick it was short stories. I'm like, oh, okay, good. I didn't know how much of an investment I had here, and it was something that you can kind of digest little bits at a time. And that's how I actually like to read. So speaking of reading, Cohen, are you much of a reader?
What have you been reading lately?
No.
All been
reading
school related. He's doing a project on red pandas.
If you consider reading school reading, then a lot of reading.
Yeah. He's been doing a lot of like Scholastic and login, kind of like library reading stuff for his class.
Besides that, just like nothing.
You learned some stuff about the Titanic, some history stuff.
Oh,
about Amelia Earhart.
Because I brought it up in that 5,000 facts book, and
I always try to break down the history portions of his schooling to make sure that he's on the right side of history, make sure that he's hearing all the details that they might be leaving out.
I brought up one Amelia Earhart fact, and he turned it into an entire history.
It's like when
there's a conspiracy with her too. Like, is she still hot?
Is she still hot? So I'm pushing I'm 38 years old, and my dad will still be like, "Oh, it's your favorite jelly beans."
Yeah.
I said these jelly beans were good one time 15 years ago, or what?
Now you get 10 pounds every birthday.
Right. Every yeah. So, well, that's cool. Well, guys, what's something that you see in the coming forward with the podcast? I know that your producer, she's constantly trying to get you guys to write stuff down, and I know Cohen,
she's
sleeping.
Yeah, no, Cohen, you're always like, no, I want to keep it free flowing, so no format, right? Because you guys,
I mean, it really isn't. I mean, we really, I still come to him, and it's all like based on whether or not he wants to do it, and we just kind of throw all the equipment together and sit down and. I'll have a couple notes of things that we need to bring up if we said something wrong on the last episode or we got a fact wrong. I try to fix that, in the old news or whatever. But yeah, we just kind of leave it on him. Like, hey, you want to do a pod? I think it's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks since we've been out.
I'm too busy all the time.
Right.
We'll probably have one coming out soon now that we've got, we got to come on yours, and now he's probably like, oh, maybe it's time we do one too.
Right. That excuse, unfortunately, Cohen, that excuse isn't working for anyone. Like right now when you're like, I actually have plans tomorrow, and people are like, what are you doing? You'd be like, I literally have nothing to do.
Yeah, no plans.
Yeah, it's been easy to book people. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see when everything opens back up how more difficult it is, because I think people are going to be like, I'm tired of staring at a screen.
Right.
And so, yeah. So, I mean, everyone can check into the news in Lane County, but it sounds like we're starting to open back up. So May 15th, I don't know what that means for the barbershop. There's going to be a lot of really interesting stuff. We're going to have PPE, wearing masks, wearing smocks, and all kinds of craziness.
Wow, if I can't get a haircut soon, dude, I'm going to be shaving my head.
I want to shave my head.
It's not the best look on me. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be wearing this hat a lot more. And if I do shave it, I guess I'm going to have to let him shave my head.
Well, hopefully
we're doing it together.
Hopefully you guys film that and make that, because make that go viral.
It'll be like our Britney Spears moment.
I think we're all close to a.
I think we are, man.
2004 was it 2004 Britney or whatever? We're all getting pretty close to 2004
crazy Britney.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's really cool to catch up with you again. I want to be a guest on your show. I'm gonna invite myself.
It's gonna happen sometime.
So whenever we can, we can actually get together in person. And I want to thank you guys. As funny as it seems, this has really meant a lot to me for you being on there online, especially you, Cohen, because you're like, who's this dude that I'm like, let's play games. because I'm so restless. And And also, I want to thank all the people that have donated to the podcast. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can go to strpod.com/sponsors, and there's a PayPal link. And, you know, people have been super, super gracious. And
Why don't we have that? I need that dough.
Yeah,
you need that dough. You need that dough. You need to be able to buy those PlayStation cards, right? PlayStation points. Well, Cohen and Adam Graves, the hosts of the Nonsense Hour. It's always good to catch up with you guys. And I'm going to end this with a song. This is a throwback. I've been playing some songs from an old crew called the Clowns of Class. So this is a subsect of the Clowns of Class. This is the reward system featuring 3 Blind Mics with the song Touch of Class. Adam, Cohen, thanks a lot. It's always good to chat.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Take care.
I'd like to return to the classics.
How we gonna do it in the touch of class? What we gonna do? Give them a touch of class. So don't sit down, just shake that ass and give us the mics and watch the party get smashed.
It's entertaining to people that rock mullets. It's always been super cool to the super dual kids. I don't know why, but I feel like losing. Feel like pursuing my dreams, chomping and chewing cheese. Like a Mighty Mouse living in a mansion with luxurious Lebanese ladies that love dancing. What? To the disco lights, to the reward systematical blind mics. Glad we're not alone, brought some friends along. We can party right, I'll break your funny bone. This beat's kinda cool, fact is kinda cool. Freeze a phone, cheddar cheese and microphones. I'ma eat my way, Marlon Brando play. Grab some liquor, right, watch it coagulate. Know everybody, anybody want a better ton of money. We can get the party moving, feed them when they're feeling hungry.
How we gonna do it in the touch of class? What we gonna do? Give them a touch of class. So don't sit down, just shake that ass and give us the mics and watch the party get smashed.
Partially inebriated part of the time. Party time participants looking perfectly fine. With cool dance moves you always wanna copy. Nauseating party tricks, visit Blackout Bobby. Simply saturating your worlds with the naughtiest. Nestling bunch of lunatics in plaid jackets. Madness arises and nipples indicate another long night that we're finishing late. I just wanna break dance, but I don't wanna break a leg. Wanna party the night away, double fisted 2 kegs. It's my priority to uplift the majority. Got boring life would be if we really listen to authorities. Here you're alive or blow up like a cannonball. Need to be close minded when you can mountain climb waterfalls. Psychedelic moonwalk across the Pacific. Matching both with fellow manatees, this life is terrific.
How we gonna do it in the touch of class? What we gonna do? Give them a touch of class. So don't sit down, just shake that ass and give us the mics and watch the party get smashed.
In the back of a Lincoln wreck, steady stinking. I don't drink and drive unless I wanna have some real fun. Just joking, no I'm not. TRS and 3 Blind Mics showing up uninvited at the spot. Looking for a bottle of 6 to drop. Showing off butterscotch, spitting out some yellow fever like I'm a pastor at a church full of non-believers.
How we gonna do it in the touch of class? What we gonna do? Give them a touch of class. So don't sit down, just shake that ass and give us the mics and watch the party get smashed. How we gonna do it with the touch of class? What we gonna do? Give them a touch of class. So don't